This is the fourth video I've done in the series that I'm doing right now with getting this old Sears rototiller with 5 horsepower Briggs and Stratton engine on it to work again. This has no spark. No matter how many times I turn that over with a brand new spark plug in it, grounded out properly, there's no spark at all. By the end of this video, we're gonna have some spark. Oh yes, we will have spark. Hey everybody, welcome back to Steve Small Engine Saloon again. Thanks so much for tuning in. I love it. Website's right there as usual, stevesmallenginesaloon.com. Check my website out when you get a chance. So yeah, if you missed the first 3 videos that we were doing in this series, I got a little link up here for you in the I button. As well as underneath this video, I have some links under there for you too in the description and in the pinned comments to get you back to the first 3 videos. The first video we did was unseizing the engine. The engine was seized. We did that. And then on the second video, we unseized this clutch because it didn't work. And then on the third video, the valve was stuck. It had no compression and we took care of that. Now we have to take care of the spark. This engine is an old engine. It's 1976, so it has points and condenser breaker points in here, right in behind this flywheel. So we have to get that flywheel off so we can actually see those breaker points. First thing we got to do is get that clutch off of there. I got this special tool right here. This really comes in handy. I got some links underneath the video also if you want to go buy one of these. Let's get that clutch off. First thing you want to look at right here once we have that clutch and washer off of there is you can clearly see the flywheel key, the timing key in here, right there. On this engine, it's absolutely perfect. It's not sheared at all. Now, just for your information, FYI, even if that flywheel key was sheared right there, twisted right out of there, it will still have spark. You can still turn that over and it'll spark the spark plug, but the spark will be sparking at the wrong time. Okay, let's get this flywheel off of here so we can get in there and look at those points and see what's going on in there. You have to get this flywheel off. What you're going to do is end up smacking the end of this crankshaft. I have never, ever needed a puller or prying on the back of a flywheel on one of these engines ever in my life. What you want to do is right on the end of this crankshaft, you want to smack that. Now you don't want to just nail it with a ball peen hammer on the end of there because it could mushroom out the end of that crankshaft if you do that, and then your clutch piece that goes over top of that will not go on there properly because that's mushroomed out. Here's the key right here. Whatever goes against that flywheel needs to be softer than the steel that the crankshaft is made out of. You can use a hard piece of plastic, you could use a piece of wood, you could use brass, lead, copper. Well, that's what I got right here. I have a soft copper punch right here, and that's what I'm going to use in between here. Put it right on the end like that, and then smack that with a hammer. Bing. Flywheel's loose now. Pop right out. And there's that flywheel key that just fell out of there too. It's in perfect shape. Don't get rid of that. Let's put that aside. Now, look at that. We got this little silver cover in here. That's the cover that hides your condenser and your breaker points. 1/4 inch driver, 2 bolts, and I am super happy that these bolts are not seized in here. Let's get that cover off. Little silver cover comes right off there. Throw that aside too. Now look at that. Whoa! Now that is in bad shape. That is so rusty. Wow. Turn that over. And the points the points are opening and closing. See that? Those points actually, as I turn that over, they're opening and closing like they should, which is also very lucky. What I'm going to do is just sand those points down where they contact together. Little piece of emery cloth like this. This is a 120 grit. You don't want to go something too fine where you're going to be sanding all day, and you don't want to go too coarse. 120 works good for me. If you fold that in half like that, so you have grit on both sides, this works absolutely fantastic. I really think that all we need to do is take that corrosion and rust off from those contact points. So what you want to do is turn your engine over so the points are open as far as they go. You might have to lift this up a little bit just to get the sandpaper in there. You can just work it, and it's sanding both contact points at the same time if you fold that paper over. I honestly believe 9 out of 10 times that's all you need to do with a breaker point system in this, and it will have spark again. We're about to find out though. Before we put this back together though, we need to check the gap between those breaker points. So again, turn your engine over so it's at the widest point. Keep turning that engine over until they're open as far as it can be. So I just went through all of these, and it comes out as 22 thousandths of an inch gap in between those points. The actual spec for that is 20 thousandths of an inch. Now, we're 2 thousandths of an inch out technically, but look at these bolts. They are so rusty on here. If I want to adjust that, I am risking breaking that bolt. I am not going to risk breaking that bolt off in there, because then I'm going to be completely screwed. I'm not going to do that over 2 thousandths of an inch adjustment. I think we got kind of lucky here that that's 22. I'm going to run with that. Now that I just did that, I just want to check and see if we have spark now. All I'm going to do now is put that flywheel back on. And before if you're doing this for yourselves, while you have the flywheel off, this is not going to hurt anything. Right underneath these two legs right here on the armature, you can sand that a little bit with your sandpaper right under there to get the rust off the bottom. That's where it gets really close to the flywheel. And you can also take your flywheel and sand all the rust off the whole flywheel, because there's a lot of people out there that think that that's going to fix your spark. I've never seen that in my life. Do that if you want to. If it gives you peace of mind and you think that's a good thing to do, it certainly won't hurt anything. I am not doing that on this because I don't want any comments coming down on this video saying, well, Steve, maybe it wasn't your points. Maybe all you need to do is do that and it would have had spark again. I'm not doing it, because I don't think that is the problem. Just for now, I'm not going to put that little silver cap on there or anything like that, because we can just check this for spark now. Put that flywheel back on, and flywheel key, timing key, put that back in there. And your clutch, flywheel nut, if you want to call it that, screw that back on and just put it on there finger tight. Because again, this is not that we're going to leave this thing, but I'm just putting that on nice finger tight so it holds it on there. Now, you know what? Points gives wicked spark, brand new spark plug. I don't even need to put the starter back on there. Watch this. Yes. Yes. It has spark. Check that out. And it's wicked good spark too. Nice bright blue, good spark, just turning it by hand. If I did actually put the starter back on there and pulled it over really fast, that spark would even be better. But at least now we know it has spark. Oh yeah. I am going to take that clutch back off, pop the flywheel back off, and put that little silver cover back on there and all that stuff. And also, this is very important, everybody. This clutch is your flywheel nut. That has to be on there tight On this model, it's 60 foot-pounds on a torque wrench. 60 foot-pounds is super tight. If you don't get that on there tight enough, you can actually shear that flywheel key just from this clutch not being on tight enough. So make sure, if you have a torque wrench, 60 foot-pounds. If you just have this, tight as you can go. You can't possibly over tighten it with just this little ratchet right here unless you're Superman. I'm just tickled pink again as usual. We got spark in there. How easy was that? All we did was sand those points a little bit and bam, we got a spark. This is awesome. Next video, oh yeah, we can't fire it up yet because this is the next video right here. This carburetor is completely seized. Everything's seized on it. The gas tank is rusty on here. And that is going to be our next video. And then we can finally fire this thing up and see if it actually runs. I really hope that you like this series that I'm doing on getting this tiller and this engine running step by step, one problem at a time until she's going to run. I'd sure appreciate a thumbs up on this one. Put your comments down underneath this video and tell me what you think about this, whatever you want. That'd be awesome. Share this with your friends. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Before we do this video right here, on this carburetor, you're looking for something else to watch, click on that video right there next. I think you'll like that one too. Hey, till the next time, guys, Coke and beer. Hey, that's my local, right here in British Columbia. This is delicious. I love it. Cheers. Steve out.